Friedrich Engels, Funeral of Karl Marx, Speech at Marx's Grave, Volume 19, page 350 to 352. On the 14th of March, at 2:45 in the afternoon, the greatest of modern thinkers ceased to think. He was left alone for only 2 minutes. When we entered the room, we found him in a chair, quietly asleep, but forever. For the struggling proletariat of Europe and America, for historical science, the death of this man is an immeasurable loss. In the near future, the gap that was formed after the death of this giant will become noticeable. Just as Darwin discovered the law of development of the organic world, Marx discovered the law of development of human history. The simple fact, hidden until recently under ideological layers, that people must first of all eat, drink, have a home and dress before being able to engage in politics, science, art, religion, and so on, and that consequently the production of direct material means of living, and thus each given stage of development must be created, the economic development of a people or an epoch forms the basis from which state institutions, legal views, art, and even religious ideas of these people develop, and from which they must therefore be explained, and not vice versa, as has been done so far. Page 351. But that's not all. Marx also discovered a special law of motion for the modern capitalist mode of production and the bourgeois society it engendered. With the discovery of surplus value, this area was immediately clarified, while all previous research by both bourgeois economists and socialist critics was a blunder in the dark. 2 such discoveries would be enough for one lifetime. Happy would be the one who managed to make even one such discovery. But Marx made independent discoveries in every field he explored, even in mathematics, and there were so many such areas, and he did not deal with them superficially. Such was the man of science, but that wasn't the main thing. For Marx, science was historically the driving force of revolution.
No matter how much he enjoyed every new discovery in any theoretical science, the practical application of which sometimes could not even be foreseen, his joy was quite different when it came to a discovery that immediately had a revolutionary impact on industry, on historical development in general. So he followed in detail the development of discoveries in the field of electricity and, more recently, the discoveries of Marcel Desprez. Marcel, 1843 to 1918, French physicist and electrical engineer, worked on the problem of transmission of electrical energy over a distance. For Marx was first and foremost a revolutionary. To take part in one way or another in the non-overthrow of capitalist society and the state institutions it created, to participate in the emancipation of the modern proletariat, to which it first gave consciousness of its own position and its needs, of the conditions of its emancipation, was in reality its vocation in life. His element was fighting, and he fought with such passion, with such tenacity, with such success as few people fight. 1. Einische Zeitung, 1842. Paris Forwards, 1844. Deutsche Bruxeller Zeitung, 1847. Neue Einische Zeitung, 1848-1849. New York Daily Tribune, 1852 to 1861. And then there were a lot of war pamphlets, work in organizations in Paris, Brussels, and London, until finally the great International Workers' Association emerged as the crowning achievement of all this. Truly, it was a deed that the one who created it could be proud of, even if he had created nothing else. Page 352. That is why Marx was the person who was most hated and slandered the most. The government, both autocratic and republican, expelled him. The bourgeoisie, both conservative and ultra-democratic, vied with each other in slander and curses. He swept it all out of his way like a spider's web, not paying attention to it, only responding when absolutely necessary. And he died, revered, loved, and mourned by millions of revolutionary associates all over Europe and America, from the Siberian mines to California, and I can safely say that he may have had many opponents, but hardly a single personal enemy. Both his name and his work will survive the ages. Delivered by Engels at Highgate Cemetery on March 17, 1883, in English. printed according to the newspaper's text, translated from German. Subtitle: Editor A. Semkin. Proofreader A. Yegorova.